Hello everybody, welcome to Dupi Animation once again. And today we are going to be designing an image carousel which can be used to do a variety of things such as maybe program contestants promo, election candidates introduction, or artist on bill to perform, and so on and so forth. Alright, so we ain't gonna waste time. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. Something like this. Alright. Okay, let's not waste time. Let's head straight to After Effects. Okay? All right, let's pull up After Effects. Okay, so with our After Effects open, first of all, let's load our assets into the software. So I have a couple of pictures here. I'll just load some in. Okay. Okay, I have my pictures here. So now let's start. Okay. Now let me create a new composition. Maybe measuring a width of something like 500, then a height of 700. Okay, I'll name it image 1, image 1. Okay, all right, so I have it here. So in our image 1 composition, let me drop an image in. So I have an image here. Let me scale it up to fit. Okay, so something like this. Something like this is okay. Okay, so let me leave it like this. Okay. Now, let me duplicate the image composition 5 times to have 6 copies. Okay. Okay, so now I have 6. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the images within each. All right. So let me open image 2, image 3, image 4, image 5, and image 6. And let me swap the images in each. So image 6, let me swap the image and scale it up. Okay, I like it this way. Image 5, let me just change the image in it. Let me scale it up. Something like this, maybe it's okay for me. Image 4, let me replace the image in it too. Let me see. Okay, this one. Let me scale it up. That's some movement working. Image 3. Let me see. Okay, I have something here. Let me clear this one. Let me scale it up. Okay, something like this is okay. Now image 2. What do I have? Some image here. Let me clear this one. And let me scale this one up. Okay. So now, after replacing all your images in each composition, so now we have 6 image compositions. Okay. Now let's create a new composition. HD. Let's name it main. Let's make it HD. Okay, 1920 by 1080. Okay. So now let's select our 6 image composition. Okay, when you click on image 1, hold the shift key, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then drag them all into our new composition, main, which is the main composition. All right. Now select all, then make them 3D. Okay, so now what we are going to do here is this. Since it's a carousel that we are going to do, what we are going to do is we are going to push them all towards S. Okay? We are going to push them towards S. So I'll hit P, which is position. All right? And on Z, I'll type something like minus 600. Okay? So minus 600 on Z, on all of them, then enter. So that it will bring them towards S. Okay? It will push the image towards S. All right? Okay. So after this, let's insert in a camera. So new camera. Okay. 28 millimeters is okay. Then you click OK. All right. You see, it has zoomed it in more. All right. So from here, what you have to do is you have to scale it down to fit the screen a bit. Okay. So let me select all the images. Then hit S. then scale it down so that it will fit my screen a bit. So something like this is okay for me. I think, let me make it 80. It's okay for me. All right. So after scaling it down, let's insert in a null object. Null object. Okay. Then make it 3D. All right. Let me bring it under the camera here. Now let me name it control. Control. Okay. So now this is where the fun is. Since the images are going to be in a circle form, and the circle is what, 360. All right. So the 360, since we have 6 images here, we are going to divide it by 6, which is 60 each. So on control, let me hit R for rotation. Okay. So we are going to rotate it on Y rotation. Okay. So now let me change the view here, camera view, to something like custom view 1. Okay. So the first one, image 1. Image 1, let me parent it to the control. Okay. So after parenting it to the control, the first thing you have to type is 60. All right. Since we are dividing the 360 by 6, the first thing we are going to type is 60. So you will type 60 here, then enter. You see that once I enter, it flips the image. Okay. So we will select the second image, then parent it also to the control. Now 60 plus 60, which is 120. Then we type the 120 there, or you can just make it plus 60. Then you enter. You see that it has flipped another image around. Okay. So now we select image 3. Okay. Then parent it also to the control. Then we add 120 plus 60, which is 180. Then it flips another one again. Okay. Now we select image 4. Then parent it also to the control. Okay. Now 180 plus 60 again, which is 240. You see, it has flipped that one too. All right. So now we are on image 5. Okay. So now we parent image 5. Okay. Image 5 to the control. Then add plus, that's 240 plus 60. Then we add. Okay. It flips that one too. Okay. So now the last one is the 6th one, which will give us the 360. Okay. We map it to the control. Then type 300 plus 60. Then we add. You see that? Then you give us the entire image in 364. You see? You see what we have here? Now let me change the view to active view. On control, let me put it to 0. Okay. So now let me use the control to animate. You see that it's rotating? It's rotating the images. That's an image carousel. All right? You see? It's as simple as that. Let me put it back to 0. If your images are too bulky or big for you, you can just select them again, then scale them down. Okay? Go something like 60. Okay? Or you can still go 50. Scale them down 50. I think this is okay. All right? So you can maintain it like this. So now let me come to the null object, which is the control. Rotation, you see? So this is your image. All right? Okay. So now let's do a bit of animation here. In the example that I showed you, the one I did earlier on, I showed you, you see that when an image rotates and it lands on a particular image, it comes in towards us. then stay there a bit, then go back. Okay, yeah, that's what we are going to do. All right, let's say the image was far away. Let me reduce the frame here to something like 20 frames. Okay, so I'll start from here. All right, so let me set a key here. So from here to here, from 11 to 12 seconds, 11 seconds to 12 seconds, which is 1 second interval, I'll go something like 60. Okay, then when it's reached this particular image, which image is that? I think it's image 2. All right, I hit P, which is the position. Okay, so I'll set a key here to match the ending, then move the timeline a bit, then bring the image in. You see, stand on Z, then bring the image forward to set a key, right? So maybe from here to 13 seconds, the image will stay there small. Then we end the key. Then copy the first key here. The first key, we copy it, then paste it there so that it will go back. Okay, so we have something like this. It will rotate. Okay, it rotates, reach here, then comes out, then go back. All right, or if you think it comes out too abruptly, you can just select the key. Since it was matching this one first, then move it a little bit forward. Okay, so that when it stops, there's a little bit of time before it comes out. You see? You see that? Okay. So from here, let's end it on this one, this particular one's on the rotation or the control. We set a key there. Then from here to here, just watch the interval, the first interval there, then move the timeline accordingly. So from here to here, let me go 120, 120. Okay. So I'll have something like this. It comes in, then show this one. Okay. So now the next one, which is image 3. Okay. I move the timeline backwards a bit more. Then hit P, position on it. Okay. Then move it a bit more so that it will come out. Then maybe stand on Z here. I can use the Z here to move it. Okay. Then move the timeline a bit more. Then end the key. Then on 16, select the first key. You copy it. Then you paste it there. Okay. Paste it there. So you have something like this. You see that? I hope you are all following though. It's a bit confusing, but try to keep up with me. All right. So now let's end the rotation, the control here. Okay. Now let's go 17 seconds. All right. 17 seconds. Then let's go 180. 180. Okay. 180. Then let's move the timeline a bit more forward. Okay, then this one, which is image 4, we hit P for position. We set a key there. All right. So we move it, the timeline a bit forward, then bring the image out. But remember, when doing this, it's better you go to the view and select the rulers to mark your points that you want the image to fit perfectly so that everything will be in line. Okay. Let me open it up a bit more. So it will also stay there a bit more. Let me move the timeline somewhere here. Then set a key. Then move the timeline forward. Then copy the first key. Copy it. Then paste it at the last end there. Okay. So now, from here, we end the rotation, the control rotation. Okay, so now we move the timeline a bit forward. Then we add it plus 60, which we have 240. Okay, for time's sake, I think we should end it on this particular one. All right, so that we do other stuff too. Okay, so it's just the same sequence. So this one, which is image 5, all right, we hit P, position, we move the timeline a bit forward, then we set a key, move it a bit forward again, the timeline, then we bring the image forward towards us, okay, then we move the timeline a bit forward again, we end the key, we move it a bit forward, then select the first key of the image, we copy it, then paste it at the last end there. Okay, so we have this. So now let's take the 5th one to be the last one. Okay, so what you do is, after that, you just end the key, then the rest here, maybe the rest of the timeline here, you just go something like let's see, something like 360. Okay, so that when it animates, then it reaches the last end, the rotation will keep on going. Okay, so you see that when the last one came, it keeps on rotating. Okay, although it's too slow, if it's too slow, you can just increase the figure there. It's 360 data type there, so you can make this in 2, change it to 2, so that it will be a bit fast. So you have something like this. So now what you are going to do is, we are going to apply a reflection on this one. Okay, so let's come to effects and presets, then type VC reflect. Okay, then give it a reflection distance of something like 50, then opacity something like 50. Okay, then blur amount, let me see, 20 be too much. Let me keep it at 10. Okay, so we'll copy the effects, then select the rest of the image, then paste it, so that it will have effects on all of them. Okay, so now let's see what we have. You see how simple it is. You see that? Okay, so now after this, let's create the background. I must say the floor rather. Okay, so for the floor, what I did was I created a new composition, 1080 by 1080. 1080 by 1080. Okay, let me name it BJ. Okay, so I have this. So now let me create a new solid layer in. Apply ramp to it, gradient ramp. Make it radar. Okay, let me bring this one in. Let me make the outermost ones a bit darker, then the inner ones lighter. Okay, so I'll have something like this. Okay, now double click on the ellipse 2 to carve the solid layer circular. All right, so from here, what you have to do is hit S, that's the scale 2, the scale. All right, to bring the scale, then maybe on scale, first you go on scale, you blow it out. Okay, so that the entire solid layer will cover the entire composition here. Okay, then you set a key. Then you come to the beginning, then you type 0, so that you have something like this. You see that it's opening gradually? Okay. That's all that we want. All right? So when you have this, you can go back here, then change the end color, make it a bit darker. Okay? So after making it a bit darker, duplicate this one. Okay? Duplicate this one. Then select the ellipse tool. Then draw another. Hold the shift key, then draw another circle on top of this. Okay? Draw another circle on top of this. Now, delete the second one, delete the gradient ramp, then apply fill to it. Fill to it. Apply fill to it. Okay? Now come to max 2. It says here, add. Change it to intersect. Okay? So that you cut half of it, an intersection. You cut half of it, something like a quarter or so. Then change the color to white. Okay? Then make it a bit transparent, so that it will be on it like a reflection. So 30 is okay. Okay? So you have something like this. See that? Okay. So select the two duplicates. Okay? Then push the layer forward, so that whilst this one is opening, the next one is also opening inside. You see that? Okay. Now select the two again. Select all again, then duplicates. Then push the layers gradually to follow each other, just like that. Select all of them, duplicates. Then push the layers backwards so that they will follow each other, like the same sequence. Okay? The same sequence. Duplicate again. Then push it backwards. So you have something like this all throughout. You see that? So now let's go back to our main. Okay? So in our main here, let's bring in the background, which is the BG. Okay? We will bring it and make it 3D. Okay? So let me bring it under this. Then hit R to rotate it on X, 90 degrees. 90 degrees on X. Then bring it down. Okay? So when you bring it down, just double click on the ellipse tool to cut it. You see? So that it will make it circular. Alright? Now blow it up by scaling it. Hit S, then you scale it up. You see that? So you have something like this. Okay. So now the edge is too sharp. So hit double M to bring out the mask path. Then you feather the last end there. Okay. You feather it. Feather it. Then max expansion, bring it in. A negative figure. Bring it in. Okay. Let me go again. Okay. So this is okay. So the max expansion is something like minus 184, whilst the feathering is 316. It is based on what you desire. So try to work around it, those figures, to get the best results. Okay. So from here, you can just use the opacity to tone it down, the floor down a bit, so that you can see the reflections within it. Okay. So you have something like this. You see? So I think we have done majority of the work here. Now what is left is let's see. Well, the words beside the image, I think. Yeah. Let's create another composition for the test. All right. So let me give it something like the first one was the width was 500. So this one I'll make the width something like 300. Okay. Then the height 500. All right. Let me name it test 1. Okay. And hit OK. Okay. I think the height is even too much. So let me just make it let me leave it like that for now. Okay. Now let me apply solid layer to it, a white solid layer to it. Okay. So you have something like this. Now let's come to the main. So if this is the first image that pops up, okay, so I'll select this particular image, duplicate it, all right, then hold the Alt key, test 1, hold the Alt key, then drag test 1 to it. You see that? So when test 1 comes in, just clear the reflection from it, away from it, all right? Position, yeah, position has affected this one. So what you do is, you take away off the position, then map it to image 2. Okay? Parent text 1 to image 2. All right? Then you position image text 1 beside the image here. Then maybe bring it up a bit more. All right? Bring it up a bit more if you want. All right? Then you change the anchor point. You bring the anchor point to the left side, the last end there. All right? Since that's going to be its pivotal point for rotation, so that when I hit R, you see that? You see? Okay. So now let's see whether what we have here first works. So you see, since I've mapped it to the image 1, the text follows. Okay? So now let's go back to test. Okay? Now let me reduce the height to something like 400. Let me see. Let me check the main and see if it's okay. Okay, I think the test is okay. The text is okay. So now you can type whatever you want here. Okay, let's say this is a cartoon. All right, let me just break it down. Okay, so I have something like this there as our test in here. Okay, now let's go back to the main. You see that is here. So let me see the control rotation. So when this one rotates and bring this one out, okay, you see that whilst this one is coming in, it comes in and stop here. All right. So test rotation, I'll first set an ending key, then come back here, then maybe rotate it to something like the last end there, when like it's about to disappear at the back of this one, the end it there, then split the layer here. Okay. Okay, so we have something like this. Whilst the image is coming, the text is also coming alongside it. Okay, if you are not satisfied with that, you can just bring this one in a bit more, then open it up. The middle here, you try to create a bit of bounciness, like a flipping paper or like a window kind of style. See, an ending key. Let me set an ending key. Then on rotation again, let's put it at the back, then it will disappear. All right, so now I'm having issue with my software here, So I'll just drag this one in instead of holding the control shift D to split. So I'll just drag it in, okay, so that you have something like this, okay, then to go. So it's like this, okay. Now that you have test 1, let's duplicate the test a couple of times to have up to something like 6 test composition. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now we have a couple of them here. All right. So just as we did for image 2, is the same thing that we will do for image 3 too. Okay. So when image 3 comes in, we just have to duplicate it, hold the Alt key, then bring text 3. Okay, text 3 to swap. Okay, then you hit P on position, then off the position, then take out the reflection, then map it to image 3. Okay, so after that, just position the text composition alongside the image here. Okay, then select the anchor point, then move the anchor position to the left side of the image. Okay, so now all that is left is the animation. Okay, so let me see rotation. While rotation, let's set an ending key there, then bring the timeline backwards whilst this thing is coming in, then rotate to the back. Okay, the end is somewhere here. All right, then let's drag the layer in to cut it, or hold the Control Shift D to split it at this particular point. Then in the middle here, bring the text composition in to dangle a bit. All right, then drag this one in. Okay, see that? Please kindly forgive me for ending this tutorial at this point. I'm having issue with my software. So see you next time whilst I work on it.